For the avoidance of doubt, the Simple Side does not provide investment, tax, or legal advice. As with any asset, the value of any asset class can go up or down, and there can be substantial risk that you lose your money buying, selling, holding, or investing in any asset. You should carefully consider whether trading or holding assets is suitable for you in light of your financial condition.
Welcome to the Simple Side. Market beating picks inside. There's no jargon and no time to waste. Join the Simple Side and end up in first place. Welcome to the Simple Side.
All right, if this is your first time here, welcome. If you're one of the nearly 300,000 returning subscribers, welcome back. I am glad to have you all. Before we get into today's newsletter, I want to let you know that I want to hear from you. Yes, you. If you're listening to this or if you're reading the newsletter, I want you to know that this newsletter can be made better for you, by you. There is a wonderful little survey button that is sitting in this newsletter. Again, you can find this at thesimpleside.substack.com. If you're just listening to the podcast, go and click that survey button and let me know what you like about the podcast, what you like about the newsletter, what you dislike, what you want to see changed, and I will continually update and add to the newsletter to make it better for what you want to hear. We've already added a few different things like a gold tracker, and we've also given subscribers a daily technical and fundamental analysis newsletter, completely new and added. And again, you can find the link to that newsletter in the other newsletter, or you can look up thesimplesidedaily.substack.com or just search The Simple Side Daily and it should come up. All right, let's talk about what we've got for you in today's newsletter. We're going to go through some quick updates. Again, this is all free content, so you can go and access this for free, this entire section. We're going to give you some quick updates on everything that's happening with the newsletter, and we've got a big announcement here because we have copy trading finally in beta testing for some paid subscribers. If you want to look at our weekly trades performance, we've got some graphs that'll show you that. We're going to talk about the politician trading report from this past week. We're going to talk about insider trading from this past week. We're going to talk about that gold report that I mentioned earlier. We're going to look at the Buffett pick of the week. Again, this is a stock analysis that I do weekly and rate the stock on whether or not it would be something Buffett would buy. And then we're going to talk about the overall portfolio updates of my portfolio. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about copy trading right there. Paying subscribers, you're going to get access to our stock buy summary for the week, our mergers and acquisition stocks, our top investment ideas, micro cap stock picks, which are up something like 20% year to date, which is pretty impressive. And then you'll get some access to earnings and options for the next week. All right, let's get into it. Quick updates. Like I said, we are finally releasing the beta testing of our copy trading to a few lucky paying subscribers. Again, you can see the portfolio update section of the newsletter for a bit more information, or if you're listening to the podcast, just keep listening along. If you're a paying subscriber and want the chance to be one of the first able to copy trade with me this year, click the link or the button below and fill out the survey that I have for you. It's just going to ask you what the email address is that you subscribe to us with, and then it's also going to ask you how much money you're wanting to copy trade with. So go and fill that out for me. As another reminder, subscriber raffles are back. Last year we gave away over $4,000 to subscribers here, and we want to do it again this year. We will be giving away items from our shop as well, and $2,000 to a paying subscriber. There's nothing you have to do to enter but join our paying subscriber list. So if you are reading the newsletter or if you're listening to the podcast, go and find the newsletter and click that link that says Join Paid Now, and that will get you on our list to win that $2,000 again this year. We'll probably do that giveaway sometime in the coming months. As another reminder, if you are a paying subscriber or if you just joined, you have access to this spreadsheet, again, link in the newsletter, with all of our trades and all of the returns, how everything's performing, and you get access to a quick little dashboard that shows you everything. It's awesome. It's wonderful. Everybody loves this. So make sure that you go and check that out. Again, we're going to be shifting this newsletter over to a custom website at some point in the future. We're going to track all of our politician and insider trades and everything else there. So you can go and join the website for free now. Again, the website is in beta as well, so we're going to be updating that as time goes on. But go and join that now so you can get access to everything right now. We'll upgrade you later if you're a paying subscriber. All right, Let's talk about our weekly performance of our trading. Again, these are the stocks that we send out in this newsletter every week to paying subscribers. They get access to these stocks, and here is how we've performed over the past 32 weeks, which is how long we've been doing this for. We've returned 27.06%, where the SPY has only returned 8.35%, an incredibly smashing success if you ask me. Our annualized returns are 43.97%, while the SPY lags at 13.57%. Again, if you're listening to the podcast and you're not on the newsletter, go and check out the newsletter, thesimpleside.substack.com, and you can see some cool graphics that show all of our returns and performance against the SPY. All right, now we get to talk about the good stuff, politician trading. For those of you that don't know, politician trading matters a lot, and it's not so much about Democrat or Republican, but it's all about their returns. Last year we had two politicians, one a Democrat and one a Republican, who returned 104% and 70.9% over the past year in the markets. This report tracks the 5 most recent politician trades and 2 holdings in my personal portfolio, which are ETFs NANC and KRUZ. They track Democrat and Republican trading. NANC, or NANCE, was down 2.51% this past week, 2.73% this past month, and is up 1.01% year to date. KRUZ is down 1.27% this past week, 2.03% this past month, and up 1.88% year to date. Both these indexes are outperforming the SPY year to date, which is only up 0.83%. Now, over the past 30 days, we saw 19 politicians make 106 trades with a total trading volume of $7.44 million. The buy to sell ratio is now 2.3, which shows a bullish sentiment from politicians. Again, we have the 5 most recent trades here in the newsletter. The largest from this past week was Mark Wayne Mullen, a Republican, who sold the Vanguard Materials ETF, ticker VAW, for between $100,000 and $200,000. All right, insider trading report now. We track a ticker here as well, ticker symbol SURE, and this tracks insider trading. SURE is down 3.88% this week, down 4.79% this past month, and down 0.92% year to date. The insider buy-sell ratio remains at 0.23, which is below the median of 0.34, which indicates a slightly bearish sentiment from insiders. The largest buy from this past week was Amcor Technology, ticker AMKR, who bought, or excuse me, I guess that was the ticker that they bought, but they bought a value of $95 million. That's how much the largest insider bought, which is a huge, huge buy. All right, now let's talk about our gold tracker. We covered 3 things here: technical, fundamental, and then trading strategies for the upcoming week or month, depending on how you're trading the stock. Now, our technical analysis shows that gold has fallen below 2,840, hitting a fresh 3-week low and snapping an 8-week winning streak. Now, after starting the week near its all-time high of $2,956, it shows a sharp loss of 3%. Despite the drop, long-term momentum still favors buyers. Now, for our fundamental analysis, there's been a lot of uncertainty around President Trump's trade policies, which has fueled a USD rally. This has put pressure on gold as investors pivot towards the US dollar for safety and away from gold, which is why you've seen the sell-off. There's more risk as well that comes from the trade war that he's wagering on Mexico, Canada, and China. And so we'll be interested to see how the performance happens on March 4th when all of these trade, tariffs are supposed to come into effect. Now, if you're looking for some strategy, traders looking to bottom fish are probably going to wait for gold to stabilize closer to 2,800 or that 2,790 range before stepping in, especially if renewed risk aversion or central bank easing bets resurface. If the dollar continues to strengthen amid the tariff headlines, gold might remain under pressure and slip further below the current supports. So be on the watch out for how all that plays out March 4th. All right, now let's talk about our weekly Buffett buy pick. and whether or not it fits his model and whether or not we are investing. This week we covered Centene, ticker CNC. Centene is a large managed care organization specializing in Medicaid and Medicare Advantage plans, serving over 25 million members across all 50 states. And while it shows steady revenue growth in a wide-reaching government contract, its recent profitability trends and return on invested capital are less encouraging. We're also nervous about the current regulatory environment and the cost cutting going on within the United States government. So let's talk about the 5 things we analyze a Buffett stock on and whether or not it's passed or failed each one. Understandable business model. We're going to call this a fail for CNC. Healthcare's heavy regulations and complex reimbursement structures make the profit model, I guess you could call it the business model, less straightforward. Now, if we're talking proven earnings, we're going to give this company a pass. They've had consistent revenue growth and decent returns on equity, which indicate an ability to generate ongoing profits, and we like that about the company. Talking about economic moats, we're going to give them a pass here as well. They're deeply involved in Medicaid in a large-scale government contract, provides moderate barriers to entry. Now let's talk about low debt growth. We're going to call this a fail. Centene's ROIC lags behind its current cost of capital, suggesting the use of debt hasn't translated to a net value creation, and we don't really like that. Now, if we're going to be talking about whether the stock is fair or undervalued, we're going to have to call it neutral on this one. The stock trades at historically low multiples, PE and price to book, but declining operating margins introduce caution for the company. And again, the regulatory environment that we've seen in the government, the cost cutting makes it hard to call it a Buffett buy. So we're going to call it not a Buffett buy. All right, this is the part that everybody's been looking forward to, that everybody's been waiting for, and that is our copy trading beta test. I first want to say thank you to everyone who's been patient with my release of copy trading. As you know, it's been a long time coming to get this released, but I've finally gotten the go-ahead for a company that I want to work with. To release the beta test, I just want to give it to a few of my paid followers, get their feedback, and then improve it for the next group of people to come on board. So I want 5 beta testers. Like I said, 5 beta testers to do this. So if you want to be one of the beta testers, I need you to go and fill out this survey to join the copy trading platform. Again, it's just going to ask you 2 questions. What your email is and how much capital you plan on copying with on platform. And I also want to introduce a key portfolio update this week. I'm going to be adding a bond ETF into the flagship fund. This addition is going to be a minor portion of the portfolio. The weighting is yet to be determined. However, this move reflects a strategic shift based on the current investing landscape. We have record high valuations on stocks. We have volatility that skews negative, and I am watching companies hit crazy growth targets and the stock hardly moves. However, when the same company misses a massive growth target, the downside is astronomical. Let's take a look at Nvidia, who just this week had on par earnings, and yet they ended the week down nearly 6%. What? If a company has on par earnings, there should be relatively no change in price unless the stock is overvalued. And again, we saw Nvidia drop 6%, meaning Nvidia and tons of other companies are overvalued in the markets right now. So even moderate or on par performance means a drop in the stock. Again, thank you so much for joining us this weekend. Thank you again for another wonderful week of investing. If you want to, you can use the links in the newsletter, again, found at thesimpleside.substack.com, to send a gift subscription to somebody, to join paid for 20% off for a year, and to try us out for 7 days for free. All those links are sitting in the newsletter. Go and click on all those, use them to check everything out. Paying subscribers, continue reading to look at this week's trades and what stocks we think are going to boost this upcoming week. For the rest of you, we'll see you next week, and we look forward to sending you a couple of newsletters this week with copy trading updates, Buffett buys, and all of the other good stuff. We will see you next weekend.